Hey everybody, Daddy here again, and this time I am joined by none other than Mancini the Amazing, aka Electric. Electric, you want to do a brief shout out?
Um, yeah, I like VGC in all of its forms. I like Pokemon Draft VGC, I like Pokemon Ladder VGC, but not very much. I like Pokemon Tournament VGC. So on my channel, I do Draft and then like tournament prep stuff.
Yeah, and we have a collab coming out on your channel pretty soon too, so be on the lookout for that
Yeah.
one. Okay, so the cross divisional games started this week,
Yes.
and of course I get matched up against my buddy Steve.
Yeah. I just want to have a brief comment.
Yeah.
I think that of all of the different sections, the other Div of 6 that we are like cross divisioning against was the strongest of all four of them. Like, there's Jace, there's Ray who's having a great season, Dan who's having a great season, there's Steve and Sly both the 2 and 3. I mean,
Yeah.
Samax is 0 and 5.
Yeah.
Not to like hate on any of the other people, but like I am the two of us are the higher people in the Violet division. Clearly, it does not have a very high skill level.
Right. Yeah, it is a super stacked. I mean, I've talked to other people about this too. I feel like the entire league is kind of stacked at this point. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Except our section again.
Yeah, I feel like you take pretty much any coach from this league and you put them in one of those random leagues that are just around for 1 or 2 seasons, they have a very good shot at winning it.
For sure.
So, anyways, to take a look at Steve's team real quick, Garchomp and Talonflame and Rotom Wash stand out a lot. But what were some of the key mons that you thought about as we prepped this week?
So Florges was a big annoying one. I remember there were a few of like the more lower end mons that could be pretty scary, like Spidops as a Trick Room user, Knackle Stack with like a full late game sort of build with maybe like a Wisp Screens Rotom and just Salt Curing through your team, so that we have to get like a Covert Cloak to try and respect it. And then just kind of like Brambleghast can be annoying with Talonflame, but you did kind of have a decent matchup into it depending on what it chose as a Terra type. I remember that mostly. I don't even remember thinking about the Garchomp all that option. I feel like we had planned for the Garchomp initially, and then just kind of focused on everything else.
Yeah, I remember as we were
spreads for Garchomp, but not a lot of planning, I think.
Right. As we were talking about the matchup, it was kind of like, well, there's so many mons that I could bring, but there's also so many that Steve could bring, which makes prep kind of weird, right?
Absolutely.
Because we're calcing for specific things that there's a very good chance Steve doesn't bring. Also, he's Steve, so he could just bring Special Garchomp, and beat me with it.
I mean, I think Special Garchomp's probably a bit too mainstream to Steve.
Right,
like it's a dragon, which it's got Draco Meteor. That's basically like meta at this point, right?
Yeah, Specs Draco Meteor. I could definitely see him bringing that. Yeah, so this is the team we decided to go with here. We felt like the Tauros would be really strong this week, so we choice banded it to deal a lot of damage to a lot of different mons. Flare Blitz for the big damage, Raging Bull for more consistent, not hurting ourselves. Close Combat and Rock Slide just because they're easy. Here's the Rev of Room. Do you want to talk about this one? This one was fun this week.
So we originally looked at Spin Out, and then we realized that being -2 speed is not epic. However, getting +2 speed is good if you have a redirector, and we do. Also +1 attack. I think you said you didn't know Shift Gear gave an attack boost initially.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I learned this week that Shift Gear gives you an attack boost. Also, I had no idea. Then we also have the Slow King. In case we want to set up our Trick Room mode, Appleton might look good in there. Covert Cloak, so he can't be faked out, and then the Appleton.
And also Salt Cure.
And also, yes, correct.
The Covert Cloak makes you immune to Salt Cure, which was like, okay, we've got this. We hit it hard enough. We should probably not lose to Knackle Stack with that Trick Room mode.
Yeah, so that Slow King looked like it might be big this week, and then the Appleton with Sucker Punch to proc weakness policy on the Dragapult. This was the trump card for this week. And then Terra Flying to dodge those earthquakes and to fire off very strong acrobatics after the weakness policy is proc.
They only had, was it 1 or 2? I think 2 resists to flying, right?
Yeah.
I think Knackle Stack and Rotom.
Yeah, so that felt like it might be strong this week. And then Skiploom here as support. Rage Powder, Redirection. Sleep Powder is always good. Pollen Puff to get things back to full health, and Helping Hand just for that extra bit of damage.
And Pollen Puff can also pick off Pokemon that have been knocked down to a Sash.
Correct. All right, we ready to jump into the first game?
Sure.
So here is what Steve brought. So we didn't talk about it in this video, but we did talk about Fortress quite a bit in building.
I feel like we gave it some respect, and then we didn't respect it, and then we kind of went to okay, how scared are we of Fortress? And we alternated between being very scared and not being scared of it a lot. I remember there was some specific move it had that we were quite concerned about, but I cannot remember for the life of me what
was it. Ice Spinner? There was like 3 moves.
Ice Spinner was
right?
one of them.
Yeah, you were like, does it get X move? And I was like, I don't think so. And it always did.
It did. Zap Cannon, I think
Zap Cannon, yeah. So Talonflame and Garchomp came. No huge surprises there. Florges is another one that you thought would come.
Both of the Pokemon that give their partner an item.
Yeah. So what lead would you go with if you were me?
What language? Well, what lead?
What lead?
Sorry,
English, preferably.
See. Well, given that they have the Talonflame lead, I probably would not default to the Dragapult one, which makes me think I'd consider going how am I feeling what's called? Tauros, the Fire Tauros, with some other Pokemon. Probably Slowking.
Well, I decided to go with the Riverroom.
Oh yeah. I can definitely believe you did that. Okay, the Riverboom Skiploom. I was thinking the Skiploom lead was an okay option, but I was kind of expecting to lead Garchomp.
Yeah,
but we did have the Terra Flying. That's right, I forgot about that.
I wasn't sure if I would see the goggles here.
Or goggles, please. No, they went for Rage Power. Okay, interesting. I assume they Rock Slide here? No, Dragon Claw. And you went for Sleep Powder. Then you missed.
Correct. Yeah, Gunk Shot miss kind of sucks. Sleep Powder hit is nice.
Yeah. Are we switching the Skiploom here?
I gotta say, before we go to the next turn, Skiploom's tankiness is incredible.
Oh, absolutely. It's just taking an Air Slash, super effective, and a Dragon Claw from a Garchomp. But are we switching Skiploom this time? No? Okay.
We are not.
I was hoping to preserve it. Overcoat? Yep, that's about what we expected. And are we doubling the Fortress? No. I was thinking Pollen Puff to break... Oh wait, it's not sturdy, it's got Overcoat. I'm not smart. Okay. And what does Fortress do? Does it boom? The Jarrables. That was honestly not that much damage. I guess it was -1.
Yeah, I mean, half
right. And do we see a Funny Terror? We do. And do we see Rock Slide? No, we see Raging Bull. Okay. Well, rest in peace, Canyon Arrow, the Simpsons reference, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, Terrifier kind of took me off
coming out here. Appleton, okay. I think if Dragapult was last, we're in a pretty good position because the Talonflame had lost its thing. I've forgotten what it's called. Oh, that. What did you go for there? Dragon Pulse?
Yes.
Into the Talonflame?
Yes.
Okay. What a tanky mon.
Yeah, I decided... Oh, I don't think I mentioned this to you, but I did decide to switch to Thick Fat right before the game.
Okay. Because that Ripen there would have hit 50 otherwise.
Right.
Okay, Clear Amulet. Adrenaline Orb, okay. I mean, that Earthquake shouldn't KO.
It is pretty close, and close combat does not take down the Garchomp.
Yeah, but I think we knew in Calc that it needed like a helping hand for that.
Yeah.
So I probably would have just gone for the Rock Slide just to get the differential here.
Yeah, probably would have been the right play. So a couple unfortunate a miss for me.
And then the other context is that they could potentially bring out a mon that isn't Fortress in that last slot, and then give you more information, which is why going for differential and VGC can be nice.
True. Yeah, so I kind of got handled that game 1. Game 2.
Yeah.
What would you
You'd
leave?
have to reveal protect on Fortress because it was oh no, they just dropped it. So I don't know. I think I still like the idea of the Slow King Tauros League.
Yep. I did not lead Slowking, and
Okay. You led Tauros after seeing Adrenaline Orb? No, we led the Dragon Ball variant. Okay. So I'm just concerned that a Dragon Ball dies immediately here, at least.
it does. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert. It dies here. Yeah, I was hoping I could, I don't know, get Talonflame to use
Why
a
not?
move.
Why try to sucker punch yourself at that point and not just try and take the Why not try and take the weakness policy off of the Garchomp's Dragon Claw?
Honestly, you know how sometimes you just
died, but-
you know how sometimes you just have those days when you just don't play well. And
Yes,
you just
I believe that's called most of my career. It's only the last couple of weeks.
it was
Right
one
now, I
of,
don't think I played that.
it was one of those where like kind of as I was clicking, I'm like, this is probably not what.
124 health.
Yeah. Yes, I don't know. Just not great decision making so far.
Yeah. We had chance to live the Dragon Claw if they're not adamant, which I don't think they were. So we did have an out. Wasn't like a particularly likely out. But 25% of the time we've got a Dragon Darts off there that got 2 KOs. Because we've seen both their items on Sash. I assume the Sash is on Toxicroak?
Yeah, it kind of seems that way. I just
It's
brought
very
in
straightforward.
the Slow King too late here. It ate that crit on the first Earthquake, which hurt too, but too little, too late.
Yeah. I mean, we still haven't hit the Talonflame even once.
Right.
Did we target the Talonflame this time? Like the Rock Slide is a double KO, right?
And we missed.
I feel like I've seen so many Rock Slide misses recently.
Yeah. So yeah,
I don't know
really,
what that tail is.
really
Maybe
well
they are.
executed.
Adamant on the Garchomp. Yeah, Steve played pretty well.
Yeah.
We'll see if the Fortress comes out last. Interesting that it would Terra Fire on basically every single one. Well, I mean, of both of them that we've seen, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe he was concerned about the Sylveon. I don't know.
That's specs.
I don't know. It's
That's
pretty
spread on.
strong, isn't it? Isn't it? Doesn't it have a pretty high?
Oh, it's
special attack?
112. What's the spread we had on our Appleton? Oh, it was just Fizz Def. Okay.
It had some
Yeah, it means-
special.
It's not. Oh, that's 100 special defense with the relaxed nature, which is the Fizz Def nature.
Yeah. So here's what Steve
How much
brought.
exactly did it do? Okay.
Just-
That's not even. Oh, it is modest. It is modest. Okay.
yeah. So
Yeah,
what
I'm
did it do?
looking at it,
65?
and that was, you know, around the range of being a roll, but definitely one favoring Steve. In fact, pretty heavily favoring Steve. But yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty strong.
I don't want my my complaining about playing bad to take anything away from Steve because I think he prepped really well, and I think I just
What a very
was
straightforward thing.
yeah.
I mean, I think
Dragapult
I think
and
maybe-
Talonflame didn't have any major surprises. Adrenaline Orb is kind of cool, I guess.
no, 124 attack on that Garchomp. So I think that means if you hadn't Sucker Punched, we probably would have gotten the weakness policy off pretty safely.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah, what a bad choice by me. But it is what it is. So Oranguru had the telepathy, not the item swapping.
It was a 25% chance of dying to Dragon Claw if we didn't Sucker Punch ourselves.
Yeah. Well, that could have changed everything, huh?
Also, not having Ripen. I don't, what was the Thick Fat for?
For
Just Ice Spinner?
to switch in on
Or Pin Missile?
fire attacks.
I mean, we're neutral to fire anyways, right?
Yeah, but just to be able to like really tank things.
Fire attack is the 74 special attack, 81 attack, Talonflame, or is it Flamethrower from Garchomp? Fire Fang. I mean, I guess they brought a lot of fire terrors, but not many Terror Blasts on them.
Yeah, Ripen probably should have stayed. I don't know. It was not my day. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But anyways, any closing thoughts before we wrap this up?
Look, I think you brought reasonable things, and you made some decisions that were not like terrible. It's just that you didn't take enough into account the decisions that Steve was going to be making game to game. Do you think that's fair?
Absolutely, yeah. I think if this was a 5 game set, I think I maybe could have turned it around. Like, I don't think that I was necessarily 100% beat in prep. I think Steve prepped very well. I think played a little. I think I made some questionable decisions. Right. I think if
I
I
think
could
you
go
could
back,
have won even as the games went if you had just made different decisions turn to turn, even with the same leads.
yeah, I'd agree.
I think the game won Appleton in the back. What was the thought process there?
What was it for? What was it for? Isn't that the
So you
question?
led Rev of Room with Skip Bloom, and then you had Taurus Appleton.
I think it was my like anti-trick room option.
Yeah, not Skip Bloom.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Your opponent didn't really respect Skip Bloom very much, which means it probably should have had a better showing, right?
Yeah, and when
If you look at Steve,
Skiplum was in it, it did pretty well, right?
yeah,
So
I mean, it managed to eat functionally a double up. It was across 2 turns, but it got hit both of those times, right?
yeah, it tanked some hits. It put something to sleep.
Do you think he won if we hit Gunk Shot?
I think that it's possible, right?
Just to double check, he used Gale Wings, yeah.
Yes, he's Gale Wings, I think, and no sash. So
Yeah, no. So, yeah, if we hit Gunk Shot, maybe we should have run Poison Jab.
yeah,
And do you think that Terra Flying turn 1 was correct?
in hindsight, obviously no, but in the moment, I'm like, I mean, he throws out an earthquake, and I don't Terra, I'm just dead, right?
Yeah, yeah. But alternatively, you could have gone for like Protect and Sleep Powder.
Yeah, it's fair.
I feel like there were other decisions that could have had the same impact of trying to preserve your mon from Garchomp, especially because you had Appleton in the back and you could have just switched that in.
Yeah.
So you had other decisions that could have had the same function, but the one that you made cost you a resource that you weren't able to spend elsewhere.
Yeah, that's true. At the end of the game, it would have been nice to have a Terra on something, right?
Especially Appleton.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I think you made a bunch of decent decisions. I think you could have brought Slowking, and it went pretty well into their matchup. It looks they didn't even have Taunt on Talonflame, which it seems like a lot of disrespect for the Slowking.
Well, Slowking can't be taunted.
That's true. I completely forgot that.
Yeah.
So there wasn't even a potential downside to leading Slowking.
I know. As soon as we finished the second game, Steve is like, "Why didn't you lead Slowking?" And I was like, "I don't know, Steve, because I'm an idiot." Okay.
They imprison the yawn. That's the real key.
So to wrap
I would
this up,
go mono psychic on Oranguru.
There-
to wrap this up.
there's now a heated race for the playoff spots in our division between myself, you, and Camo, because all 3 of us lost. So this means whoever wins is in. And you're in.
2 of us are in, right?
You're in, right? Wait, no, if me... Wait.
Also, that's
You're in.
spoilers. My game hasn't come out yet.
I'll wait to release my video until you release yours.
Okay. It's out on a couple hours after we released it last time.
I could also cut this out. I'll just end the video now. Love you guys.
Okay.
Like, subscribe.
Thank you guys for watching.
Go to Electric's channel.
Yeah, yeah.